As far as the weather goes heading into this upcoming weekend, we're starting to see the clouds clearing out after the storms that started the week. 64 degrees in Salt Lake right now, 62 currently for Ogden, 62 into Utah County. As we look at our temperatures across the board right now, we are in the 60s for most of the Wasatch Front. Quite cool up in the Cottonwoods, 46 degrees for Alta right now. And then into southern Utah, our temperatures in St. George currently 78 degrees. Compared to this time 24 hours ago, it is about 5 to 15 degrees warmer outside. Clouds are starting to thin out, but we're still keeping a few of those clouds hanging over the mountains right now in northern Utah. We're going to keep you mostly clear and dry here across central and southern Utah. We did have a little bit of rain that started the day here in Salt Lake, but we're going to head into mostly clear sky heading into our overnight hours. Temperatures into the 50s starting at about 7 o'clock tonight, into the 40s around 3 a.m. For Salt Lake City, an overnight temp of 45, Ogden 45, Provo low 40s for tomorrow morning. Look at that weekend forecast coming up in a few minutes. A rise as we get closer to this weekend, but 64 here in Salt Lake. I'd like to peer at what everyone else in the country is dealing with because we've got a pretty wide range today. Look at Dallas right now, 93 degrees. Same thing for Phoenix. Looking up towards Jackson Hole, 48 degrees. Beautiful live look from our Oquirrh Mountain Cam. We're going to get some live reports from Dan Pope in just a bit on his view as he's going on a fall drive right now, but colors are looking fantastic from our Oquirrh Mountain Cam. Still a few clouds lingering, 64 degrees here in Salt Lake City. There's the Old Mill Golf Course on the right side of your screen. You can see some fall colors up on the mountains right now with beautiful blue sky into St. George, where it's currently about 80 degrees. So we've got temperatures that are going to be on the rise for this weekend. Over the last 7 days, we've been all over the place. Today we've made it to 65, so our temperatures are gradually warming, but we're still below average today. 71 degrees is a typical high temperature this time of year. We'll be getting closer to average heading into Friday. Temps right now here across the state around 60 to 65 degrees. And then as we look at your morning commute for tomorrow, you want to grab that jacket again, grab that sweater. 46 degrees for the morning drive under clear sky. Still a few clouds hovering over the mountains, but we look at the bigger picture here across the region, and we've got more sunshine into southern Utah, along with those warmer temperatures for St. George. For the Wasatch Front, the rest of tonight, mostly clear. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have a cool start. Absolutely. We'll see 30s and 40s here across the state, and then it'll be a mild day for tomorrow with a really nice weekend ahead. Overnight temperatures here across the state, 40s and 50s. St. George, you're close to about 60 to 65 degrees for those overnight temperatures looking at 6 a.m. And then, so 40s and 50s at 10 o'clock tonight into tomorrow morning when you wake up. We're looking at 30s and 40s here across Utah with a high temperature tomorrow in Salt Lake around 70. Park City low 60s. A lot of sunshine tomorrow. Pretty calm as well. Moab near 80. St. George mid 80s for tomorrow. Storms into Texas through Houston all the way up to Chicago heading into Thursday morning. That storm system continues off to our east, and we have really nice conditions here out west through the rest of the work week. St. George 85 tomorrow, close to 90 degrees Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we're going to keep it close to 90 to start next week. But by the middle of next week, we could see another cool down, but then we also could see some additional chances for some rain or at least some more clouds moving in by next Tuesday. So for Salt Lake, we're close to 70 degrees Thursday, Friday, mid to upper 70s this weekend. We'll take a look at that 2-week temperature trend coming up in just a bit. Guardsman Pass, it was just barely starting to change. And then that live shot that he did at that S curve really is looking spectacular right now. Guardsman hadn't quite started to change yet at the very top when I was up there last weekend, or I guess a week and a half ago. So I'm curious to see what that looks like now. But the east side of the mountain through Wasatch Mountain State Park, that was fantastic a week and a half ago. So hopefully those colors are still holding on. 65 has been our high today in Salt Lake. A normal high this time of year, 71 degrees. It's 64 degrees currently in Salt Lake under partly cloudy sky as you get closer to the mountain. For tomorrow morning, we'll have a morning drive in the mid 40s, dry commute for today, tomorrow, and then for tomorrow evening also with temperatures tomorrow close to 70 degrees. As we look here across northern Utah, we've had a few clouds that have been hanging on, mostly related to the higher terrain, but be looking to southern Utah, we've got mostly clear sky, and we're going to end up with temperatures into tomorrow, tonight 10 o'clock into tomorrow morning, mainly in the 30s and 40s. So we're going to have a very, very chilly start tomorrow for our higher terrain, but valleys, a cool start. And then our temperatures will be into the 60s and 70s here across the state. And then we head into the next couple of days and we continue with some great conditions, especially as we get into this weekend. We'll have plenty of sunshine for you, and our chance of precipitation is going to be pretty low until we get to the middle of next week. By next Tuesday and Wednesday, we are looking at some isolated to widely scattered showers. And for Provo, we're going to see that chance of precipitation also starting to go up into the early to middle part of next week. And for St. George, your chance of precipitation is also very low throughout the 7-day forecast. So St. George, 85 tomorrow, close to 90 degrees Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then with that chance for some additional cloud cover and maybe even some precipitation by next Tuesday, Wednesday, we could again see a little bit of a cool down back into the 60s, but mid to upper 70s for this weekend. By next Tuesday, additional clouds, some chances of precipitation. But as we look into the middle part of October for days 8 to 14, October 12th through 18th, we are going to have above average temperatures, and 71 is a normal high for this time of year. So really our only day that's close to average is going to be Friday. And then as we look at our chance of precipitation here in Salt Lake City over the next 7 days, we're going to be pretty dry heading into most of our 7-day forecast, with a chance for some isolated to widely scattered showers by next Tuesday and next Tuesday night. But for tomorrow, close to 70 and sunny. Beautiful conditions heading into this weekend for any hikes that you want to do. We're going to be in the 70s here in the valleys. We'll have comfortable fall conditions for hiking up in the mountains this weekend. 64 currently in Salt Lake and Ogden, 62 degrees currently in Provo. Up at Alta right now, 44 degrees, so it's quite cool there. Looking over towards Tooele, currently 63 degrees, 61 degrees currently in Heber. The colors have just been fantastic here the last couple of days. I'm looking forward to seeing Dan's report. As we look at our temperatures across the state, we've got 80s going in St. George right now compared to this time 24 hours ago. It is about 5 to 10 degrees warmer outside, but we're still hanging on to a little bit of clouds, mainly across the mountains of northern Utah. We are going to be heading into a warmer and drier trend compared to the first half of the week. More on that coming up. As we had the storms that moved through with our cool down Monday and Tuesday, we had that snow that came through. Today we've made it to 65 degrees. Now 71 is a normal high this time of year, and we have really only been close to average about one day in the last week. And here's what it looks like from our Oquirrh Mountain Cam. So the clouds have cleared out. We're finally getting some good views up in the mountains right now. The last couple of days we've had no visibility on these cameras, so it's been really tough to see what's happening on the ground. But the Oquirrh Mountain Cam, wow, this is just on the west side of the Salt Lake Valley, looking beautiful. Salt Lake right now, 64 degrees. Here's the Old Mill Golf Course. Not sure if they're still open or not, but we will have some golfing conditions heading into this weekend if you want to get an afternoon tee time, if you can find a place that's still open. 80 degrees currently in St. George. Certainly some golfing weather in southern Utah this weekend. And our temperatures right now here across the state, a lot of us in the 60s. So yes, we're below average right now. For the evening drive tonight, we'll have dry roads. Same thing for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, you'll want to grab that sweater for the kids as they head out the door. Temperatures into the mid 40s. And then we're going to see a lot of sunshine heading into the next couple of days. So still some clouds lingering from the mountains of northern Utah. We've got Wasatch Front conditions for tonight, mostly clear. Cool start tomorrow morning. It'll be a mild day, close to mid to upper 60s for a high tomorrow for many of you, with a very nice weekend ahead. Overnight temperatures, 10 o'clock tonight, we're looking at 40s and 50s, 30s and 40s into tomorrow morning here across the state. St. George, you're in the 50s tomorrow morning. Salt Lake near 70 tomorrow for a high. Park City low 60s. Moab 78, St. George 85. We keep storms from Texas up through Chicago, up into Toronto, heading into Thursday. And then here across the west, we're going to have some great conditions over the next couple of days. St. George 85 for tomorrow, 90 on Friday. Close to 90 this weekend for St. George. And for Salt Lake City, we're close to 70 degrees Thursday, Friday, upper 70s this weekend. We'll look at your 2-week temperature trend, including our next chance for rain coming up in just a bit. Winds will be returning as we head into this upcoming weekend. Today we've made it to 65 degrees, so we are starting a gradual warming trend. 71 is a normal high this time of year, so we're still below average today. We had 50 degrees for our overnight low this morning. Right now 64 in Salt Lake. Beautiful view on our Salt Lake Tribune camera in downtown Salt Lake City. We've got full visibility right now, which we haven't had the last couple of days. We've had low visibility. We haven't really had much of a view on our different cameras here across northern Utah, so it's nice to be able to see what's actually looking like right now at the top of Guardsman Pass. Tomorrow morning we'll have a dry drive. It'll be cool to start the day in the 40s. And then for the evening commute tomorrow here along the Wasatch Front, more dry roads. So we've got high pressure building out west. We still have a few lingering clouds, mainly for the mountains, but we're going to head into the next couple of days and we're going to have a warming trend. So as we look at our hour-by-hour forecast, 10 o'clock tonight, 40s and 50s here across the state. We will cool tomorrow morning into the 30s and 40s. Then we'll have a pleasant day tomorrow. Temperatures rising mid to upper 60s for the Wasatch Front, so just barely below average for tomorrow. And then we'll end up with really nice conditions heading into this upcoming weekend, with our next storm potentially moving in next Tuesday and a Wednesday, a quick one. So chance of precipitation for Salt Lake, 90 for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then we could see a little bit of a cool down